playing. You know, it might have been a bit different if it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but it was nice conditions to play and play some good rugby.
Just, Eddie, you mentioned the red card, which I think some of us feel the same as you, that there was a lot of mitigation there. But also that try, just after half-time, the fly kick. Did you feel a bit hard done by the TMO, not ruling a forward pass there? I mean, surely that's a call that was a 50-50.
Yeah, I think it was a 50-50 at the time. I said exactly those words. So, you know, yeah, sometimes you get them and sometimes you don't. I think the important bit is the other little bits. We made a couple of errors. I think we kicked the ball out on the full before that series of play. Then obviously we did well defensively to force that error, and then sometimes a bit of luck goes against you. You know, fly out straight in front at pace, and it lands in no man's land in front of Jack Noel. He can't do much about it. So those sorts of things did go against us a little bit, but sometimes you earn your luck by the effort you put into the game. So you know, the last try there as well, we didn't execute our pass perfectly, which would have made things better, but we bobbled the ball and it's straight into their hands and they're off. So you know, like say, you make your own luck, and they did that.
Just one question of strange or interesting line-out tactics from your side. You almost never used your locks in the line-out.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Rob sets the line-out up in whichever is the best way to win the ball with quality ball, and he's obviously an expert at that. But we need multiple jumpers because we need to put those decoys, you know, in place. Whether that's and there might be another day where they might be the perfect option, but if the caller's called it, he's probably called it right.
How much of a confidence boost is it? You guys are known for being a very physical, kind of forward dominating side in Europe and that, but everyone talks about the power game of South African sides, and especially here. So, I mean, certainly in that first half you went toe-to-toe. I mean, it was a real arm wrestle. Is that a confidence boost for you guys?
Not really. I think we probably get a bit of a confidence boost that coming back to altitude we could be, you know, competitive and it not hurt us too much. Other than that, we always feel like we can, you know, physically be up there with most sides, and the important bit is applying that. And there's good learns for those younger players as well. They're learning week in, week out, and the impetus they gave us at times off the bench there. You know, Daffy Jenkins got us on the front foot. Greg comes on and does incredibly well. So, you know, there will be boosts within that, but equally we're comfortable and confident with where we are. We just need to cut out those little penalty errors that are really costing us massive yards, or whether it's territory or points as a whole. If we can do that, that's when you get a real confident side, can trust themselves to work through situations in games, and we're probably not just doing that and backing our skills, because we've got phenomenal D, and it's really coming on strong, but we've got to back it so that we don't give up those pens, and then obviously field position.
Quite a helter-skelter kind of game. You guys had your chances, but I guess that red card counted quite a bit against you in the end, although the Bulls had 5 tries by then.
Yeah, I think it was. You always feel like you're in the game. Looking at their games, you always felt we would be in the game. But it's obviously a big moment. I don't think it was necessarily the defining moment, but we have a penalty advantage when that penalty gets given. So if we then go to the corner and score, it changes the game completely. So it's one of those, and sometimes those situations happen in the heat of the moment. And say we'll look at it through the week and see what we do going forward.
Do you think it was a correct call or not?
Well, I think looking at the video, I would say the initial contact is with the top of the arm. And then that obviously bounces him up around the head. He's pretty low in his body position. He's bent at the knees, as is obviously the attacker. So we'll just have to look at it in the week and see what the best approach is as a result of that for Henry and the club.
But Exeter had quite a few opportunities that you perhaps also missed out on. Do you think the finishing could have been a bit better? The scrums also, a lot of penalties against you guys.
Yeah, we would have liked to have scored early on. I think we had the initial first attack in the 22, and we didn't convert, and then they came up our end and scored very quickly. So, we were disappointed with that, and obviously there were opportunities within the game that. Obviously, I've talked about the penalties, and penalties at scrum time as well is a concern. But equally, we can't make the errors that allow the scrum put-ins to go to the opposition. So it's something we're looking at, and we'll try and find the answers. And we've obviously got the best people around to solve those problems.
And Janus Kussen would have given you some insight into it, but playing at altitude for the first time, I felt the high summer in South Africa, it's a tough gig.
Yeah, I think it would have been tougher if it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but being at night, it felt all right out there. I thought, personally, when I've played at altitude, I've enjoyed it because of the conditions. You obviously get a great either ball through it flies through the air a little bit quicker, even on the passes, never mind the kicks. So we were encouraging the guys to play and come through it. We back ourselves as a physically fit side. We've always done that, and I think that came through for us towards the end, and the lads will have taken a bit of confidence from that, because there was obviously a few guys that were going into the unknown a little bit, but we just kept pushing them mentally to make sure that they stay on top of it and keep driving themselves, because when you do get your breaks, you recover pretty quickly, and then you can go again, and I thought we adjusted to that very well.
Coach, any positives that you can take out of this loss?
Yeah, lots. Look, a bonus point in Europe is probably a pass score, but so that's obviously pleasing in how we came back to that. I thought obviously that, like I've talked about, that adjustment to altitude and the guys, being able to take confidence from that, and knowing that we could. We were a little bit our own downfall at times, so we can go toe to toe with these quality sides, especially in South Africa that we haven't faced too much, but we can go toe to toe with all teams in Europe. But we've got to make sure we don't contribute to our downfall with the penalties and the errors that probably cost us in the game.